Hello, this is another video about the shuttle PCs. I've taken all the power supplies out and someone suggested I actually test the power supplies with a power supply tester, and great idea. Don't know why I didn't think of it or bother doing it earlier, but interestingly these are all the original power supplies. These four, I've numbered them up so I know which system, which one's from which system, but this one you'll notice is different. We've got the fan in a different place on here, and on the back there's also a fan, whereas on these original ones there is no fan at the back. So it looks like this has been replaced in one of these systems, so maybe this is okay, maybe it's not. But yeah, maybe they tried replacing the power supply, but it was the motherboard that was the problem. So let's test these, and maybe this will be a good power supply for us to use. So let's see what happens. I'll start on the left with number one. And you'll see that it's wired up so it switches on automatically, so I'm going to connect it all up first and then connect the power. We've got a CPU connector that barely reaches. Let me see, this one did power on and used 70 watts when it was switched on. So let's connect the power. I've got the volt watt meter here, which you can almost see. So plugging the power in. Okay, so on here we've got 11.7, 11.7, 5.1, 3.3 and 5. So the 12 volt rail is a bit low. And I'll just write this down just so that I've got a record of it. We can sort of see the difference between them all. Okay, let's move on to the next one. This will be interesting because this is the one that looks the newest. The wiring is normal, it's not set to auto switch on. The cable for the CPU connector is far too short, so I don't think I'll be able to actually plug that in. That's annoying. It's also got SATA. That's interesting. These other ones do have SATA as well, I suppose. That's fairly normal. Whoops. Okay, let's see what we get when we connect this in. So we've got 12.2, 4.9, 12.2, 5.0, 3.3. So if we could get this to reach, which we can't, it'd be interesting to see what the CPU connector is doing. Right, let's move on. I think probably can't draw any conclusions till we've tested them all to see what's kind of normal. Although if they're all faulty, then that might not be a thing. So moving on to power supply 3. This was one that just did nothing, absolutely nothing. So interesting to see if we get anything. I'm going to connect the power. And this one, dead. Absolutely nothing. So, moving on. Another one that's set to wired up to automatically switch on. I'm connecting it now. So we're getting 12, 12.1. 5.1, 3.3. And a sort of fairly loud fan on this one. Okay, let's move on to the next one. I think if there was a fully working motherboard, I'd then be able to sort of start trying these power supplies to see if any of them do work well enough for the system. Guess it's a process of elimination, isn't it? Okay, so I've put the power in. And this one isn't wired up to switch on automatically, and not getting anything on this. I think I did change this one so that the I think it was set up to auto switch on, so I think I did change it to put the wires back in here to see if that helped, but no, nothing from that one either. So we've potentially got 2 power supplies that are giving us just over 12 volts, and then 3.3 and 5 volts seemed okay. So I guess, yeah, I think the next step will be to order some capacitors for one of the systems, replace those, see if we get that working. If we then get that working with a known good power supply, we can then start looking at these power supplies to see if any of these are up to the job. So yeah, Nothing very exciting in this video, but just sort of going through each one, checking them and seeing where we get. Thanks for watching. I think this shuttle PC project will get there eventually, but it might take some time. And make sure you check out some of my other videos, and subscribe is always welcome. Okay, I just had another idea, and that was to try one of these power supplies with a different system entirely, and it will just give us a kind of idea of as to whether this will work. Whether we, the only problem is the really short cables, as you can see. So this is the Duron 650 system. That's been in another video, and I guess all we need to do is try and balance this in a semi-safe manner. Connect up video. Oh yeah, this needs a video card. One of those here. Try and balance that there then. Okay, and let's connect the keyboard so we can get into the BIOS. Okay, so I'm going to connect the power. I've got an LED on the motherboard down there, and I'm going to press the power button. And we've got a beep, and it powers the system. Okay. Go into the BIOS, have a look at PC health. Hopefully you can see that we've got 12.6 volts, 4.7, 3.3. So it's not, they're not great, are they? But it does show that you can power a system on with this power supply. Let's try number 4. This is number 2. I guess the other thing worth pointing out is that this PC does work, but it does have clearly faulty or bulging capacitors. So the voltages might be wrong because of the motherboard rather than the power supply. Let's try number 1. This one's wired up to automatically switch on. I'm not getting anything. Just press the reset button. Oh, there we go. BIOS. So 11.8, 4.9, 3.35. It does power the system on. So Again, it's pointing to the motherboards being the problem in these shuttle PCs. Let's try the other power supply that was working. Number 4. This is again wired up to auto start. I think I need to basically undo that because it's not that helpful. These power supplies trying to automatically switch on every time. So I'm going to plug the power in. It's switched on. I'm going to press the reset button. Oh, there we go. Getting a beep. Let's go into what else and have a look at the voltages. We're getting 12.1, 5.1 and 3.3. Okay, so this is the 4th one, and this was the one that gave us 12.1. So yeah, so I guess from this video we've discovered we've got 4 power supplies that work to a degree. They power on this system, and maybe we don't need to start necessarily looking at fixing these power supplies when they can power on this PC. So yeah, this was useful. We're making some progress. It's quite slow, but we're making some progress. Cool. All right. See you in the next video. Bye.